So it's been 1 month since we launched Plastic Free Living, and most of our first month has been focused on research. We've posted 5 summaries of the information we found, getting to the bottom of what really matters when you're trying to reduce plastic ingestion. And a few of the angles we took on that research were looking at one of the important ones, nanoplastics versus microplastics. What matters in size of the plastics that you're ingesting? Eating or drinking those plastics versus inhaling plastics. Really understanding that inhaling could be a big route of ingestion, that a big route of where plastic can cross the barrier into our body. Empirical evidence, just searching around, is there really evidence of health consequences with microplastics? And I think there definitely is evidence of health consequences. And then we began to get into the investigation of how we're actually going to do lab testing, especially for nanoplastics, and is it even possible to do accessible, meaningful lab testing at this point? And I want to take you on the journey of what I'm finding with that. The short summary of all the information that we've posted is that there's almost no question that plastics and ingesting plastics does have health consequences. But I'm ending up being most concerned about nanoplastics and less concerned about microplastics at this point. I think there's good evidence that a lot of the microplastics are not absorbed by your body and excreted. But while nanoplastics are ripe for absorption and crossing barriers into your body, and then difficult to eliminate after they cross those barriers. I am very disappointed from the research about the amount of accessible, meaningful lab testing in the nanoplastic area. Microplastic seems easy to do, but nanoplastic seems difficult to do. We also are in the midst of a couple product reviews. We launched the first one on solid wood cutting boards, and having a good time testing out all those cutting boards and seeing where that ends up, and we'll share updates later. We plan to do quite a bit more product testing and reviews in the future. And I'm excited about 2 paths. I think continuing replacing things around the house and just harm reduction of things that are intuitively potentially causing issues with plastic absorption into your body, just kind of doing harm reduction. And then letting you know what we're finding is the best products and giving feedback on those products we're using. And then continuing to explore how we're going to do lab testing and beginning to reach out and make connections with people who or organizations that are interested in advancing lab testing for nanoplastics, because microplastics, like I said, is easy. Nanoplastics is not. And so we'll be doing work on building connections and relationships to make that more accessible in the future. And that lab testing is really important in my mind, because I keep seeing evidence where people make maybe intuitive trade-offs but end up in a worse position. One study out of France really exemplifies this, where glass bottles were found to contain more plastic from plasticized paint on caps and lids, likely, that was the source, than the plastic bottles. And we need to know if we're making good trade-offs or not as we're making our sort of plastic-free decisions. So we'll continue on working and just pushing away when we have time, and hopefully this information is helpful and meaningful to you as we keep adding more.